discovered by now that Chicago goes by many different names. But I think we can all agree the most famous nickname of Chicago would have to be Windy City. And that nickname, Windy City, has absolutely nothing to do with how windy it is here. It's not referring to the wind, but was really talking about politicians. They all became known as windbags, full of hot air here in Chicago. Not that that was exclusive to our town, but long story short, here's what happened. 1892. Chicago and New York are arguing with each other over who gets the privilege of putting up the World's Fair. Chicago argues so much, New York actually
There's
gave
people
up.
don't know.
They basically said, fine, take it, you do it, we'll do it in the future, whatever. Like fools. And the reason why is because we named the World's Fair the Columbian Exposition, where it was meant to commemorate exactly 400 years after Willis sailed across the ocean. Now, just in case not everyone fully remembers world history class, that was 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, so make a lot of sense putting it up in 1892. Very logical, for it is indeed 400 years. Of course, the only problem was we didn't. We put it up in 1893, an entire year late, for no other reason than our politicians arguing about it.
NBC.
Hence, windbags, hence, Windy City. And I got time for one more nickname. This one's my personal favorite. Second City. Not to be confused with Second City Comedy, though. Two different things there. And for my history majors on board, disclaimer, there are multiple iterations of as to the origin of that nickname, Second City. But the one I'm going to give you, I think, is the most straightforward, or at least the easiest. We call Chicago the Second City because we are literally in the second city of Chicago. Because the first city burned down due to the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. Be mindful of the branches on the left-hand side of the road here, folks. I don't think we'll actually even touch them, but just in case, sometimes when the cars are parked on the right, we get a little bit closer to them, so just be wary of them. The bus right this second is a building that looks and says no, but it's seen some better days, better days. This is the old Chicago Tribune, everyone. I say old Chicago Tribune because the turning it into condos. We're kind of split about that here in our town. Half of us love it, the other half, we hate it. But silver lining, no matter how we feel, we are keeping the original Chicago Tribune Tower right there. Historic landmark going back to 1925. But alas, we are getting rid of the rest of the surrounding area of the structure. And this is the magnificent mile we are now turning upon. Virtually every store that we go past down here is a flagship store or equivalent thereof. But like I said earlier, we already know how to shop. We know what these stores are. Clothes, clothes, clothes. There's a watch, a couple of shoes, basically all apparel. But there is one building in particular I do delight in telling y'all about. Not there just yet, though. It's about to come up on our left-hand side. Here in just a light and a half. building I was talking about is looking now here to your left. The smaller white building obscured by all that scaffolding. This used to be Crate and Barrel. 1962 was when Crate and Barrel was founded. Right here in Chicago. And now that you know they're Chicago original, I can finally share with you my absolute favorite part of this entire tour. Ladies and gentlemen, you will never believe who the first store manager of Crate and Barrel was. Harrison Ford. Of all people. The Han Solo for my younger crowd on board, and the Indiana Jones was the first store manager of Crate and Barrel. He was born here in Chicago. Later this year, that building that used to be Crate and Barrel shall become the world's largest Starbucks, which is apparently exactly what downtown Chicago shop is. Drive in between two really old, really cool buildings. Coming up on your left-hand side is a castle. We call that Water Tower Castle.
Oh, that's the water
On
tower.
your right-hand side, we refer to as the pumping station. These two buildings are the two oldest buildings you have seen since you have been here. But these are the only two in downtown that actually survived the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. And they survived simply because they're made out of stone. This is stop number 11. Do we have anyone hopping off at stop 11?
No, we're staying. We're going to the Willis Tower.
No, two more. So no one is coming downstairs. Yeah, no one is coming downstairs for stop number lead character of Stranger Things, so we're all good upstairs.
Look at that's beautiful.
Known as the Hancock Tower.
Oh, this is the Hancock
360
Tower.
Chicago Observatory, where one can also find their famous ride, the Tilt, which does exactly what it's called. It literally tilts you out the side of the 94th floor. It's also stop number 12. Was anyone hopping up? Yes, all right. And we do have a couple years after the fact, when on his deathbed, he finally admits to the we do have a couple of folks who are coming downstairs for stop number 13, so give us a hot second here, folks. And here we are, stop 13. Watch your step on your way down. Do enjoy the rest of you about the Great Chicago Fire. So I figured I'd catch you up because I want to elaborate on something, but I'll bring you up to speed. How did the fire start? We don't know. What went wrong?
This is the one.
Everything. There you go. Now you're caught up. Here's the part I wanted to elaborate on more, however, because I said aliens started the fire. Well, as far-fetched as that does indeed sound, there's two schools of thought that lend itself to that theory. And when I say aliens, I'm talking about the meteor shower, of course, for those who did just hop on, and you're getting a little bit of out of context spiel right there. School of thought number one. The same night the fire began, there were at least 5 other fires that also in school of thought, though, that did finally convince me. And that is a really long time ago, whether 1923 or 1924, a little guy by the name of Edwin Hubble is staring up at the nighttime sky. He makes the Eureka discovery. Turn October 8th, 1910, 1871.
That's a Trump.
Telling you, aliens. That is what started the fire. And fun fact, folks, Aqua here is the tallest building in the world, designed entirely and solely by a female architect.
Wow.
Our very own Jean Gang, who runs the Studio Gang architectural firm here in Chicago. And she's about to break her own record. with the new tallest building in the world, again, solely designed by a female architect. And if you want to see it, you can, because it's right down the street. Building here in our city.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to share with you before I bid you adieu, let's start number one. I've been talking about Chicago.
The Civic Opera House. In 1929, they originally envisioned this building to be a mixed-use building. They were going to have opera down on the first couple of floors, and then to help pay for that opera, they were going to rent out office spaces, and the offices up above the Civic Opera House. Unfortunately, the developers of the Civic Opera, they were able to anticipate the market crash of '29 or the Great Depression. This building got shuttered for a long time in the 30s. Reopened again in the 1950s as the Lyric Opera of Chicago. They just opened up their season this past Saturday night with their new production of Barber of Seville. Rossini's Barber of Seville, their first production of this 2019-2020 fall season. It would take a good long while to get up over there to the top of the Willis Tower skydeck. It's just a beautiful day here in the city of Chicago. On a clear Chicago day, you
and I've been